Welcome to LinesToGo installation videos. Today we will be removing and installing brake lines on a 1977 Chevy Malibu Classic using LinesToGo part number BLC-228-SS. While this particular installation is being performed on a 1977 Chevy Malibu, this set of lines will also fit the following year, make, and models as shown on your screen now. LinesToGo lines are made using original equipment end forms and fittings that are CNC bent for an easy and precise installation. We have also upgraded to stainless steel braided Teflon hoses for rust protection and to prevent surface fouling. These have an unlimited shelf life and anti-static PTFE liner. This set of LinesToGo lines are made using 304L stainless steel for rust resistance that exceeds OEM standards. Tech tip: disconnect the battery before working on a vehicle to reduce the risk of shorting out the battery on tools or lines. LinesToGo lines are made with a sectional design for easier installation. We also use color-coded unions on our sectioned lines. Just match the colors of the connections. Tools required: 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch socket and ratchet, 5/16, 3/8, 7/16, 1/2 inch and 9/16 of an inch wrenches, pliers, flat blade screwdriver, pry bar, drain pan, jack and jack stands. The level of difficulty for this installation is considered to be easy. Start by disconnecting the negative battery terminal using a 5/16 of an inch wrench. Remove the hose from the cap of the windshield washer fluid reservoir and lift up on the reservoir to remove it from the vehicle. Use a 9/16 of an inch wrench to remove both threaded fittings from the master cylinder. Located between the brake booster and the firewall is a metal bracket securing both master cylinder lines. Use a 1/2 inch socket to remove the bolt that secures it into place. Raise and support the vehicle by the frame. If your wheels have chrome beauty rings or center caps, place a cloth over a pry bar to remove them without damaging them. Remove all 4 wheels using a 3/4 inch socket. Underneath the vehicle on the driver's side of the transmission, use a pair of pliers to remove the metal clip that secures the shifter linkage into place. Remove the shifter linkage from the transmission and the frame-mounted pivot. Remove the nylon bushing and set it aside so it does not get lost. Reposition the shifter linkage out of the way. Use a 9/16 of an inch and a 7/16 of an inch wrench to remove the 5 threaded fittings from the proportioning valve located at the driver's side front of the frame. Lift up on both master cylinder lines to get access to the metal clip and remove it from the lines. Remove the primary and secondary master cylinder lines from the vehicle. Slide the lines down between the brake booster and the inner fender. Remove the threaded fitting from the left front flex hose using a 7/16 inch wrench. Remove the left front line from the vehicle. Use a 7/16 of an inch wrench to remove the threaded fitting from the right front flex hose. Underneath the front of the vehicle, use a 1/2 inch socket or wrench to remove the 5 bolts along the frame that secure the right front brake line in place. Remove the right front brake line from the vehicle. Remove the metal clips from the line using a flat blade screwdriver. At the rear of the vehicle, located above the rear axle, use a 9/16 of an inch wrench to remove the threaded fitting from the rear flex hose. Use a 1/2 inch socket or wrench to remove the bolts that secure the metal brackets holding the lines into position along the rear cross member and the driver's side frame rail. Use a flat blade screwdriver to open up the clips so that the line can be removed. At the driver's side of the vehicle, remove the metal arm supporting the parking brake cable. Disconnect the end of the cable from the connection in front of the left front wheel. Remove the rear feed line from the vehicle. At the top of the rear axle, use a 7/16 of an inch wrench to remove both threaded fittings from the rear flex hose union. Remove the threaded fittings from both rear wheel cylinders using a 7/16 of an inch wrench. Use a flat blade screwdriver or pry bar to open the metal clips on the rear axle that secure the lines to the axle. Remove both rear axle lines from the vehicle. To begin the installation of your new stainless steel LinesToGo brake lines, start by installing the front section of the rear feed line labeled 05A into position. Start the front threaded fitting into the rear port and the proportioning valve by hand. Next, install the rear section of the LinesToGo rear feed line labeled 05B into position. Start the rear threaded fitting into the top of the rear flex hose located over the rear axle. Start the threaded union that connects lines 05A and 05B, noting the LinesToGo color-coded connection. Tighten the union using two 9/16 wrenches. Tighten the front and rear fittings using a 9/16 of an inch wrench. Fold the metal clips around the line and secure them into place using a 1/2 inch socket or wrench to replace the bolts. At the rear axle, install the left rear LinesToGo axle line labeled 06A into position and start the threaded fittings into the left rear wheel cylinder and the rear flex hose union. Tighten both threaded fittings using a 9/16 of an inch wrench. Next, install the right rear LinesToGo axle line labeled 06B into position and start the threaded fittings into the right rear wheel cylinder and the rear flex hose union. Tighten both fittings using a 9/16 of an inch wrench. Secure the lines to the axle using the metal clips. Before installing the primary and secondary master cylinder lines, lay the new LinesToGo brake lines beside the original lines and mark the location of the metal clip on the new lines. Next, install the LinesToGo brake lines labeled 01 and 02 into position, routing them between the brake booster and the inner fender. Install the metal bracket over the lines, noting the marks made earlier, and secure the bracket into position using a 1/2 inch socket. Underneath the vehicle, start the threaded fitting for the line labeled 01 into the top rear port in the proportioning valve, and the fitting for the line labeled 02 into the top center port of the proportioning valve. At the top, start the threaded fitting for the line labeled 01 into the rear port in the master cylinder, and the threaded fitting for the line labeled 02 into the front port in the master cylinder. Tighten all 4 threaded fittings using a 9/16 of an inch wrench. Next, install the left front brake line labeled 03 into position and start the front threaded fitting into the left front flex hose. Start the other threaded fitting into the top front port in the proportioning valve. Tighten both threaded fittings using a 9/16 of an inch wrench. Next, install the right front LinesToGo brake line labeled 04 into position. Start the driver's side threaded fitting into the bottom port in the proportioning valve and the other fitting into the right front flex hose. Replace the metal clips removed from the original line onto the new LinesToGo brake line and secure them using a 1/2 inch socket or wrench. Tighten both threaded fittings using a 9/16 of an inch wrench. Reconnect the left rear park brake cable and install the metal arm that supports the cable. Install the shifter linkage back into position and install the metal clip. Replace the windshield washer fluid reservoir back into position and connect the rubber hose at the cap. Bleed all 4 wheels using a 5/16 of an inch wrench at the rear and a 3/8 of an inch wrench at the front, making sure to keep the master cylinder reservoir topped up with fluid. Replace all 4 wheels using a 3/4 inch socket. If your vehicle is equipped with chrome wheel covers, replace them at this time. Reconnect the negative battery terminal using a 5/16 of an inch wrench. This concludes the installation of stainless steel brake lines on a 1977 Chevy Malibu using LinesToGo part number BLC-228-SS. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or would like to purchase the lines you saw today, please call us at 1-855-781-5992. Email us at info@linestogo.com or check out our website link below. And don't forget to take advantage of our free 2-day shipping. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below, and we will see you on our next video.